4 o'clock on the nose. So I'll call the meeting to order. But before we do anything, I want to recognize Tanya Leffler, who is stepping down from the commission. Tanya joined the commission in May of 2019, and I want to thank her for her work. She was very good at meeting attendance, and anyway, wish her well as she goes about whatever it is she's going to be doing. The Unit 5, in the April elections, there are 3 openings on the Unit 5 board. So we'll have to wait a bit to get a replacement. But good luck to you, Tanya. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Oh, sure. Thank you. And I'm sorry I can't join the whole meeting, but I've really enjoyed working with all of you, and we will find a great replacement as soon as the elections are over. So thank you again for having me for the last year and a half.
Best wishes to you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for all the work.
Okay. And so is Melissa here? Yeah, she's with you. So Melissa, have you taken the attendance?
I have.
You have?
Can I do a roll call?
Yes.
All right. I will just say your name and either just raise your hand or say here. Bart Bittner.
Here.
John Burrell.
Here.
Jim Fruin. All right. Diana Howman.
Here.
Mary Cramp.
Here.
Tanya Leffler. Okay. Carl Olson.
Here.
Carl Teichman.
Here.
Mark Wiley.
Here.
And Michael Petrini.
Here.
Thank you.
Number 3. That's
Carl Olson.
003. The 2, there are 2 calls.
Caller 3.
We have
Oh, it might be Mercy.
on caller number 3, is that Mercy? Are you on the phone too? Both?
Well, can you hear me? I'm talking now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm number 3.
Okay.
Mercy, caller 3.
That's
Okay.
Mercy Davidson from Town Hall.
So do we have any public comment, Ray?
We don't.
Okay. So let's move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions or would like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none. Do we need a motion to move on, or do we just move on, Ray?
We do need a motion for the
Okay.
minutes
Okay.
of the meeting. Yeah.
Well, actually, we consider all these together according to the way this is written, all 3 items. But we
Right.
just need a motion for the minutes in the consent agenda.
Yeah,
Mary?
for the consent agenda, yeah, you can approve it as individually or as one.
Okay.
Mary, I would Mary, this is Carl Teichman.
Yes,
I would
hi,
hi, I would move that we accept the consent agenda as presented, all 3
Okay,
items.
is there a second for that?
Second the motion.
Diana seconds. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand or say aye if you're on a call.
Aye.
The consent agenda passes unanimously. So let's move on to the regular agenda. And we have proposed amendments under item A in the regular agenda, proposed amendments to the commission bylaws. And I'm going to let Ray take over and explain these items.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. And before I go over the details, just want to note that we discovered there was a page, the very last page of the proposed amendment. Somehow that was missing from the packet, and that was page number 5. But I'll go over that. But I just before the meeting, I just emailed to all the members of the commission. If you do have access to a computer, emails, and you can I attached to that email, and you can also follow that. But we're going to do some share screening, and then you can also follow on the screen.
Oh, come on.
Maybe just a second.
Just a second, I lost you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to make a few comments and I'll ask Melissa to share the screen.
Okay.
According to the bylaws, every 3 years, the staff supposed to review and make any recommendations if there were for changes of the bylaws. And then the last amendment was done in February of 2018. And so this is 3 years. And so it's time for us to review and suggest changes. And so we did that and we proposed some changes and present those changes to the executive committee last week. And the executive committee did consider and also recommend those changes be approved. And that recommendation was put on the agenda for today's meeting. So the full commission has a chance to review, and you see it's appropriate for those changes that you can vote on those changes. And so those changes have been included in the agenda packet, except somehow page number 5 was missing, which I just included in the email that I sent to you. We will share screen shortly, and we'll go over the changes. Most of the changes that we have suggested are more cleanup and minor technical edits. And I'll go for the ones that have more substantive changes. And if you would just kind of bear with me, and then we'll follow and we'll share the screen right now. And there are basically 3 areas that I would like to draw your attention for those substantive changes. And on page 1, all right. So page 1, under election, article number 3, section 2. That's basically what the staff was proposing to clarify the timing and the procedure for the election, the annual election. And so basically we suggested that it'll be held at the first meeting of the calendar year annually versus right now the bylaws is written that it will be having the election in December. And sometimes we may not have a meeting in December, and that might be kind of tricky. And that's why we put it annually at the first meeting of the year. Just if we don't have a meeting in January, then automatically we'll defer to the February meeting. But whenever the first meeting will be, and that is when the election will be held for the officers. And there won't be any secret ballot or nomination for our legal counsel because we want to do everything in open. And so that is per the council's suggestion. So we remove those wording related to those secret ballot and whatnot, and we'll be done for the Open Meetings Act. Everybody are in the open for the nomination and the voting. And so that's the article number 3, section 2 changes. And then the next area of change that is substantive is on page 2. Under article 4, section 1, about the meeting. And if you can see, that is about the meeting cancellation. What we're proposing to do is to make it more simple, more streamlined in terms of the what actions that should be taken for canceling a meeting. Sometimes we don't know if in advance, like a month in advance, if the next meeting will be canceled or not, because we don't know if there will be action items on the agenda to be considered. And so what we have proposed is that the meeting can be canceled if there's no urgent matters or businesses after consultation by the executive director with the chairperson. And in that way, it's easier, more effective, more efficient if a meeting has to be canceled if there were no action items. And that's on this article number 4, section 1. And then the other is on page 3, under article 6, sections 1 and 2, under personnel, we can change the subtitle. But on that one, on section 1, we clarify the involvement of the executive committee in the executive director appointment process. Because right now, somehow, although actually in reality, executive committee did and has been involved in the appointment and the recruitment of the executive director, but somehow it's not reflected in the current bylaw. So we add some wording to clarify their involvement. And then under the next paragraph of page 3, about the professional firm typically will be hired annually to conduct audit of the Regional Planning Commission's financial records. And we've been doing that until about 2 years ago, that the Regional Planning Commission became part of the county government structure. And the county has its own audit process. We are one of the agencies and departments that are subject to that audit process and procedures anyway. So there's no need for the Regional Planning Commission have our own independent audit because we are already subject to that audit process already. So that's why we are suggesting those wordings be removed from the current bylaws.
Ray?
Yes.
I'm sorry, this is Carl Olson. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to confirm. So with the annual audit responsibilities being covered by McLean County, does that satisfy your state and federal obligations for being an external audit?
Yes, yeah. Because actually, since I joined the commission about a year ago, they were in the process. We, along with other county departments, they already under the review and the audit process, the county had like an external firm. So yeah, we are all our operation in terms of the financial operations. They actually have started to review, and yeah, we are all good with that process. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just curious on that. Thank you.
No, that's good. That's a good question. Yeah, because then this is kind of unusual because I know in the past there used to be like a accounting firm or auditing firm that would come in and do the review, do the audit, and then they will make a presentation to the commission. But now we are becoming part of the county. That is, we still will be audited. I mean, we still are being audited in the past, and in the future, it just won't be our own auditor.
Ray, can I ask? Ray, this is Carl Teichman. Can I ask? Do we have to allocate funds for this audit, or is this something that is provided by the county?
It's provided by the county. I don't think they charge us actually, even the last years. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not a budget item for us.
Correct. Yeah, we haven't received a bill yet, so I assume it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a little bit out of the ordinary. What you are used to. So yeah, thanks for all the questions to clarify, because yeah, and this is important for us because we are, as you all know, we are grants. We are funded by a lot of different grants by different entities, local governments and also the state and federal grants. And so we we have to keep a good, clean record, and and so yeah, we have to be above the par in terms of all the things that we do, for the finance. And if there's no question, so those are the three of few areas that what we consider as substantive changes. The other changes, it could be like the formatting, the last page, page 5 that was missing the packet that I just emailed you earlier. But I just want to show you what the changes are. It's the title of the folks on some of the transportation committees are clarified. Like the director of engineering is actually in the system they might have done some restructuring or whatnot, but it's their city engineer. The Connect Transit, why they just calling it Connect, and with just the full name Connect Transit, and then the CIRA, the whole name, the full name also is included. The Bloomington Normal Airport Authority. The other changes, basically, it's more, you see some of the marking on the side. It's just for like hyphenated words, so it's kind of minor formatting, but nothing of substance on page 5. And so I just want to point that out. Those are the changes that staff were recommending to the executive committee, which did also recommend approval. But now it's for your full consideration. And if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer. And then if none, if you would make a motion for approval.
Okay. Any questions?
This is Mark. I would make a motion to approve the bylaw changes as presented.
Is there a second to that motion? Diana Harmon? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand or say aye if you're on the phone. Carl Olson?
Aye.
Okay, looks like it's a unanimous vote. Okay, so let's see, next step. I'm sorry. Okay, the items, there are no items removed from the consent agenda. So under items of discussion, we have the regional housing initiatives. So I'll call on Lauren Gibson for that.
Sure, thanks, Mary. Just briefly, a couple updates on the Housing Assistance Coalition. We've provided over $2.6 million in housing assistance since May of 2020. Marketing of the local and forthcoming state assistance programs will be a big focus over the next few months. The state of Illinois is going to have a new rental assistance program that I'm assuming will be opening within the next month or so. And it'll allow both landlords and tenants to apply for assistance. There's also a provision where community-based organizations can apply for grants to conduct client intake, outreach, and purchase equipment in order to help people apply for the assistance program. On the homeownership side, the mortgage forbearance programs for federally backed mortgages have been extended through June 30th of 2021. We're also monitoring, as you've probably heard, it's been in the news about that new COVID relief package that I believe is currently in the Senate. There's a lot of different housing provisions in that one as well. So we're monitoring that on a daily basis. In terms of housing research, we're working with the Bloomington Housing Authority this month to finalize the housing choice voucher spatial analysis and the accompanying research brief. A draft affordable housing location map is complete, and we'll be working with the Regional Housing Staff Committee to finalize and approve that map in the next coming months. And that's all the updates I have. I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay. Hearing no questions, thank you very much for your presentation, Lauren. Okay, let's move on to the Vision Zero Transportation Project update. Is Jonathan here with us today? So Jennifer, are you going to take over? All right, Jennifer, it's your floor's yours.
Yeah, Jennifer will give the updates. Yeah, the consultants.
Great. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was still muted.
Okay.
Corrected that now. Things have been very busy on this project and continue to be as we sort of move towards the finish line of the report and the public outreach process. The Heil Group is continuing to finalize the draft report, and we're reviewing pieces of it as they're available to us. There's a lot of preparation going on for a March 5th, which is to say Friday team meeting, which includes the members of the project study group, the subject matter experts who advise the project study group, the Heil Group staff, and our staff to review and discuss the draft report and a new project identity it's going to be called Go Safe, Go Safe, which will make sense when you see it. In addition, the Heil Group folks and our web provider, Cybernautic, who helped create our website, and the sub-consultant Firebrand Cooperative are working on the launch of a page on our mcplan.org website about this project and about how it's going to proceed. That is going on with the cooperation of basically everyone participating so that we can promote the end of the month activities that will involve the general public. These are the community conversations that we've talked about before that will include a planned outreach process to get the public access and get them to participate in these meetings. They'll be held on March 20th, which is a Saturday at 10 a.m., March 23rd, Tuesday at 6 p.m., and for the early birds among us, Wednesday, March 24th at 8 a.m. And following all of that activity and the results of it, which will be compiled, the project will be presented at the April 7th Commission meeting.
Okay.
If I may add to, sorry, Jen, are you done with the questions? Yeah, just for the Commission's information, as the consultants and the staff are planning to do a lot of promotion of those public meetings, what we call community conversations, in the next couple of weeks before those meetings. So, and we'll email you those maybe flyer and whatnot, and we'll ask you your help to get the word out, and we'll get the message out, and hopefully a lot of people in the community will be able to join that and to provide input. But I just want to give you a heads up.
Did everyone on the commission get a chance to read the draft? Was a copy sent to everyone, Ray?
No, it was the draft that Madam Chair was referring to is the draft that the consultant has prepared, and that was distributed to the different subgroups with the project steering committee, the subject matter experts, panels, the people, the project team, the folks that are, including Mr. Teichmann, who's also serving on those committees. So they are having review of those documents right now. And then after the input is provided by the public through those conversations, those community conversations, the consultants will consider those, and then will refine that draft that's being circulated just still within the steering committee and the work groups. After that is done, then in April, they will make a presentation and also have that final draft document for the commission, for the full commission to review or make comments before your vote on whether to adopt that action plan or not. So yeah, right now, Mr. Teichmann, because he's on that project team committee, and Madam Chair, who's been attending some of the meetings, and that's why they have been offered the opportunity to review that draft documents. But nobody else on the commission have seen that documents yet. But you will, but after the refinements and the public input, you'll definitely have a chance because it will be up for your vote for adoption or not.
Well, I understand it will be up for a vote. My concern is it's a very detailed document, even in the draft. And if the presentation is made, say at the April meeting to adopt the final draft after the public input, that there really won't, I mean, commissioners will be getting that document the week before the meeting, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. Whenever we ask you for your vote, yeah, we'll at least give you a week to review that document.
Okay. Because some of the items under consideration in this regard the use of these micro vehicles, micro mobility things, electric scooters, electric bicycles, and their use on the roads. And I think that it's really important for to get a good reading on the draft document before we vote on it. So, the other concern, I'm glad to hear that you'll be promoting the public input sessions because that's really key, and it will be really interesting the kind of response that we get from the general public because there's Zoom meetings. Are we going to do anything with feedback in the newspaper?
Yeah. I mean, like press release, we also will provide other ways for people who cannot make it to those 3 meetings, although they schedule some in the morning, in the afternoon, and weekends, just trying to make it easier for people who have different schedules to attend. But we will allow people who say can send in email us comments even after those public meetings, and if they want to, yeah. So if they cannot make it to those Zoom meetings, and for whatever reasons, yeah, they will provide other opportunities, for them, for the public or anybody to provide the comments.
Okay. Are we contacting groups of people to like notify members that this would be a good thing then? I mean, how are we trying to develop public interest in this, Jennifer?
Well, we're using a procedure we've used in the past, which kind of, to put it bluntly, exploits all of our contact and partner agencies. Generally speaking, we ask everyone who's already involved to make sure that they spread the word through their own networks as widely as possible to anyone who might be interested, and even to those who don't know that they're interested yet. And that's a process that we'll continue with. I think there'll be some media work done. We haven't quite worked out the details on that yet, but that's in process. And I think by the middle of the month, we will have a web page of some form up that will make it possible for people to see the materials and presumably look at the draft report, which will still be in draft stage, but will be available. And as well as at some point, some sort of response function so that either we'll give people an email address to send their response to or to comment on, or we'll have a function on the website itself. That's going to be an evolving project, the website portion of this, but we will have it up and ready quite soon in order for people to have a chance to look at it. And that's something that we'll be promoting again on the main page of our website, through Facebook, through whatever the other means we have available, including all of our partner agencies.
Okay.
So there will be different groups that will be contacted, including, since this project is not just the county project, not just the regional planning commission project, because it really affects people who live or come to the town of Normal, the city of Bloomington. So actually, their staff is also on the steering committee and the subject matter panel. So we'll also rely on them. We'll get the word out through them. They will help us to get the word out to their own communities, get to their groups in different, like the school districts, the healthcare facilities, and economic development groups, the business groups, and we'll put announcements press release, newspaper, and we'll just go different ways to try to get the word out. And again, we rely on your help too, to help us, because you have your own contact, and if you would help us to get the word out, that would be great, because we're trying to do it, the electronic, the digital versions, and also the traditional. But with the pandemic, sometimes it's hard to get that. Like people may not buy the newspaper, the hard copies. People may not go to the public library to read the notice board. But whatever you can help us, we would really appreciate it. Yeah, but we'll get the materials to you when the time comes. Because sometimes people don't pay too much attention to these meetings until this is like getting closer. That's why the 3 meetings will be during the week of March 22nd. So we plan to do more promotion, like the first or the 1 or 2 weeks prior to that meeting, so that people have, could draw their attention, and then hopefully they will be able to participate.
Okay, any questions on Vision Zero? Hearing none, let's move on then to item C, the pavement surface evaluation. And I'll call on Jennifer Six for that. Jennifer.
Thank you, Mary. This has been sort of ramping up as well. Town of Normal staff are finalizing some of the details for this process, and I am working on drafting a contractor contract, essentially, based on earlier examples we have, which we'll be sending to the town, I hope by tomorrow or the day after. And our staff is, the primary effort is taking place by the town of Normal here, but I'm also working on establishing documentation for our transportation management consortium, under which this project was kind of launched. And that's going to go on until probably sometime through April. And we'll have that all back to you as soon as we can.
Okay. Any questions for Jennifer? Okay, hearing none. I think, oh, I've lost my place here. I think that's it. So, do you have any more to add, Ray?
I don't. But if there's anything may arise on number 6D, I don't know if the commission has anything. Well, we started the process of recruiting, for system planners, as you know that Tim Riley moving on in. So we just started process, and we have advertisements looking for system planners. So just FYI.
All right. So could I have a motion to adjourn if hearing no other items? Okay,
So moved.
Motions, and Mark seconds. All in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
I believe it's unanimous. Goodbye, everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you for a nice meeting.
Thank you for your attendance. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Ray, before you go, just for what it's